Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully this works. I'm gonna listen to it. I had to restart, obviously, because it was not... it was clearly not working. So let me see. I had to restart. Okay, now I hear myself normally. And let me see the channel on Twitch. And yes. Okay, I fixed it. I had to reboot my computer. It's been a shitty day. My daughter broke my iPad, so I've been extremely upset. I decided to muster some of that anger, or to channel some of that anger into drawing something from Dragon Ball. So let's do that. Because that's what I do when I'm upset. It's been a while actually since I sat down and I've been drawing something actually from Dragon Ball without, you know, playing around. So let me see if I can join Discord. I might not be the best entertainer or person to talk with today because I was very, very, very upset. She smashed the only thing you cannot replace, the home button. It's tied to the chipset, so only an Apple Center can replace it. This is an old model though, from 2017. So how, I don't know. It was cracked, and I guess she poked at it until she pulled out the button. I was not the one watching the kit. Someone else was watching the kit, so unfortunately there is no way to fix it. I'm not gonna pay $300 for that in an Apple Center. Because it's old. So it sucks. I was using it to watch some stuff while I was eating usually, and now it's broken. So anyway, all right, let's see if I can join live stream voice. I hope it works. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm sorry if it doesn't. Anyway, let's get to some drawing here. All right. So, been a very long time. I've been practicing these days a little bit, but clearly I'm not in as good a shape as I was when I was drawing this every day. So let's see. Let's see how we fare.
Speaking of being in bad shape, here I am in a stream
Hello.
again.
Because it's cold?
No, I'm just in terrible physical shape.
Oh, me as well. I can't gain a single pound, or half or 1/10 of a pound for some reason. I've been training like hell for the past 2 months and nothing.
I have the opposite problem. I can't lose a single pound.
Life sucks. Whatever. Let's draw some Dragon Ball. You should draw some Dragon Ball too. It's very good, at least for me, it's very good to let some anger, let some steam go out. I always draw angry stuff when I'm angry, so.
I can't draw Dragon Ball, but earlier I was playing Dragon Quest Monsters, which is pretty close.
It's something I should pick up at some point. Oh, by the way, one of the games I didn't really work on, but one of the games that's using my artwork has been released on Steam. Let me pull it up. It's called Our Song Echoes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I think it's this one. Yes, this one that came out. So this yeah, it has some of my monsters in, and it's now on early access. So it's not $2,000. It's about $13 or something like that, I guess, in dollars. But that's my wolf, for example. And there are some others, obviously not all of them, but this is the Demon Tree. There are a few, and I might stream it at some point or play it and then post videos on YouTube, because as a contributor I got a key, so I might just do that because it seems cool. So
That tree sprite they made was pretty cool. I wonder if
They're
some
very
information
good at
on it.
making sprites. Very good. So, yeah,
Better than me.
check it out if you're interested. I guess they have a sprite artist that only does that, so it's not a fair comparison because they're doing everything alone. Not a fair comparison. But this one I'm doing is copied, by the way. Mm-hmm.
I've gotten way better though, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm really happy with that Nanox sprite I made. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, the shading on this looks really good compared to how I was used to doing it.
It is. It is much better.
Because that was the part I always
something
struggled with, was the coloring and shading on sprites.
That's, in general, it's very hard. Like, not just for pixel art. I guess if you know general rules of shading, it's a little easier than if you don't.
It's just like trying to get it to a spot where I think it looks good. I'm pretty good at like shape design and like getting the basic outline done, but the hard part for me is like when it comes to clothing and like making everything kind of look natural. I mean, as natural as sprite art can look, but
Yeah.
that's the part I always struggled with, was the shading and making things look textury.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a thing they do a lot in pixel art, honestly, because you got so few pixels to work with, then it might not even be worth adding texture. I don't know. I'm not an expert in pixel art. You should ask. Cheese.
I was looking at like references from other games because I do that whenever I'm working on something, and I'm like, in many instances, like the shading and coloring on mines are on like my sprites are actually like more complex than some of the things I'm basing them on.
It's an act of balance basically with sprite art or pixel art in general, to maintain a decent level of detail even if you have so little space to work on. That's one of the reasons why I did it in June last year, because I wanted to get better at managing the space I had. But again, it's not easy. Sometimes just
well, to be fair, like with a lot of older games, they had like a very limited amount of colors they could use, right? So in terms of like the palette and everything you could do with sprites is a lot more limited. Those limitations don't really exist anymore. You can use any number of colors that you want. And so it's kind of like you're trying to do the balancing test of looking at older sprites, but the older sprites didn't necessarily have the same rules or limitations that you do. So you kind of have to have like a blend of the way that older sprites use shape design, but also take into account like new colors. I was kind of considering that, by the way, like I just trying to limit myself to a certain amount of colors for each sprite, just because I feel like that limitation is actually pretty helpful.
Oh, usually it is. Yeah, I would not recommend just going ballistic and adding any color you possibly can. That's kind of hard to manage.
Well, it's not even just like any color, but it's like, whenever you're shading something, it's like you look at some sprites and it's like they use like 6 different colors of shades for like a shirt or something, and you sometimes look at that and like, is that really necessary to use all of these different shades?
One thing I can say is that for games that use pixel art that I collaborated with, they have a set palette. So they don't really use any color apart from those in the palette. I can show you what I mean. Hey Matthews, I don't know if anyone else does that, but to make pixel art with more details, it's possible to shrink an image and use that as a base for pixel art. Yes, I did it when I made Angry Wife. So sometimes I draw things normal size and shrink them to make them pixel art. Yes, that is one thing you can do. Obviously, it's good. It depends though. Like you do need to know what you're doing. Like you do need to. Man, these. I'm copying this one. The first one is just a copy because I'm completely cold. But Toriyama makes huge ears. Damn, this ears are huge. Anyway, yeah. So I also have to disagree with Chase's evaluation of Dragon Ball Super here. I did not like it at all. Unfortunately, I tried so much to enjoy it. I found it very why, like the point is that Piccolo wants Gohan to, keep training and realize his full power, but Gohan is studying, and Gohan is still kind of lame apart from when he transforms in the burst mode, whatever that's called. What's it called? And I think that's kind of like the whole thing is kind of weird. Like Cell Max sucks as an enemy. It's just a brute that just keeps attacking. It's like a Ozaru, just stronger. I don't know. It didn't feel like anything was at stake for real. So I don't know. I did not like it very much. I did like the transformation. That was cool, but it's just a different set of hair. We already got many. So I don't know. What did you like about it, Chase?
Well, I disagree with you on Cell Max because in the movie they explain that Cell Max isn't complete. So when he is complete, theoretically he would be as intelligent as the normal Cell, but they basically triggered him too early because they were scared, and so they're like, we need to use him now to kill these guys. So we didn't really get to see him at his full strength and intelligence, that kind of thing. Which I'm assuming they just set that up so that later on they could reintroduce perfect Cell Max or whatever.
I don't know if they will, because it was destroyed. So how would they do that?
It doesn't matter.
Like with Dragon Ball, I guess no, because the saying can say, it doesn't matter. We will anyway, because things. So that could be, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree that Gohan starts out lame. I think that's kind of the point of the movie.
But I mean, when he's done with the transformation, I mean, he's still says, where are my glasses? I can't see without them. I don't know. It's like, also the whole thing feels a lot like it's too set up. Like, okay, well, Piccolo wants Gohan to be stronger again, and so he agrees, basically faking Pan's kidnapping to do that. I don't know. I did not enjoy how it was set up. Again, it felt like nothing was really at stake. Because in any case, our heroes are stronger. Even if Goku and Vegeta are not there, at some point they can come and just wreck everybody. So, although they said, these guys are stronger than Goku and Vegeta, or at least Cell Max was, I don't know. It didn't feel as interesting as I hoped it would be. I think they brought the Cell Max to have a non-memorable villain and to redo the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan moment. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that kind of left me... That's one of my favorite, if not the favorite moment of Dragon Ball Z. But it's that moment. Like, you can't... They did exactly the same animation with more or less the same hairstyle that comes out of it. It felt like, well, we're just doing this again. It's the same, though. I don't know. It didn't strike a chord. Maybe because I'm also rewatching Dragon Ball Z in the Kai form. And that feels so much punchier. For some reason, like, it's not just nostalgia, it's actually punchier. The way I feel about it is like, oh well, there's actually something at stake here. But in this movie it's like, well, nothing is really at stake, nothing feels dangerous really, because our heroes are already overpowered anyway, if not the current ones. Piccolo does really nothing, like, at all to get the new form. He was not even expecting that. He did not even know that when he got it from Shenron. And that was also very easy. Like, oh, well, you know what? I can just upgrade Shenron, and that's gonna be it. I don't know. I did not enjoy that. Like, the whole concept of the movie was not as interesting for me. But just my opinion, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fair. I just think it's... I don't think it's a good movie per se, as in general filmmaking, but I think it's the best Dragon Ball movie I've seen.
I've not seen... Oh, yes. Okay, I could agree with that. I've not seen many good movies. Honestly, Dragon Ball wise. Dragon Ball doesn't do very well with movies, usually. So that might as well be true. I've not... maybe the first Broly one... Nah. I don't know. I did not really enjoy probably any of the movies. No, I was trying to think. Maybe the cooler one.
I
At least for the
appreciate
drawings.
I appreciated Superhero because it was trying to do something and it actually had character arcs. Like the original Dragon Ball movies are just fights, basically. There is no character progression or anything. Like at least in this one, Dr. Giro's grandson, he has an arc in the movie where he starts off. He's kind of like being used, and he's like a big superhero fan and whatnot, and he thinks he's doing something good. He thinks that the Z Warriors are the evil people. But then it turns out, he has like a nice. I actually really did like the setup with his little mosquito thing in the very beginning, and it's like throughout the entire movie, it never comes up until the very end with what's his name, Magenta.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a nice little tie around. You introduce that at the beginning, and it comes through in the end.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was
just basic storytelling.
Yeah. That was okay, but again, I just didn't feel the punch. Probably because I'm watching Z at the same time. I think Orange Pickle is funny because he was green and now he's ripe. Yeah. I don't really like the things under the mouth here that much. It's like it kind of feels a bit like Giga Chad Piccolo. I don't know. I'm still undecided about that design. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's cool that they gave him a power upgrade, and I did think it was funny that he's just like, yeah, call me Orange Piccolo.
Hey, look, you're orange now. Oh, what should we call you? Well, do I need a name? Yeah, well, I guess call me Orange.
But for me, like, I mentioned this when I was reviewing it a while back, but like you kind of touched on, I think the worst part of the stuff was introducing Goku and Vegeta, because it had like no bearing on the plot whatsoever. It's like there's no point. This is just to have a fight scene in the middle of the movie, and it's like introducing Goku and Vegeta, like you're saying, kind of reminds the audience that they exist. So even if Gohan and Piccolo fail, then Goku and Vegeta could probably come back and do something. But like you shouldn't have them at all. Make Goku make everything hinge on Gohan and Piccolo being successful, and Goku and Vegeta might as well not exist in the movie.
Yeah, they could have found, I don't know, some kind of plot twist that made it impossible for them to come. So it's like, man, this is a real dangerous battle. So if we lose, we lose. It was like, well, we're trying to do this while we wait for Goku and Vegeta, who are just eating at Beerus's place.
With Broly, yeah.
With Broly, right? Like, what the hell? That was a turn off for me. So big turn off. No, they should have not been in the movie. Like the thing that I get that they want to sanitize Broly basically because he's in fact a good guy, whatever. They rewrote that part. I don't care. I did prefer the original Broly design, honestly, in terms of character design. It felt way more interesting and more characterized compared to the new one, who just feels like a random dude from a Xenoverse game. But that thing in the movie was really out of place for my personal view. It was just, there's no point in adding that. Like giant ears. That's really giant ears. They could have used the fact that Super introduced new universes and have Goku, Vegeta, Bills and Whis on other universes, so they were too distant to interfere with the movie plot. But yeah, that would have been very easy.
Or just, just come up with some reason that those guys are cut off from the rest of the universe. Anything to say, oh, okay, so this is a self-contained threat and nobody else can interfere. It's like, oh, that makes it a lot more dangerous then, because if Cell Max wins, then he actually pretty much takes over the universe.
Yeah, but again, nothing was really at stake, so that really probably undermined my enjoyment of the movie. But I did like the fact that Gohan could do the special beam.
Yeah, that was a nice ending.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. That was cool. I like that.
It almost felt like Piccolo is my real father, so I'm going to use the special beam cannon instead of the Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Because Goku is never there to take care of his children.
But he is not really. He's just minding his own business. Okay. Okay, now do I remember how it was? Let's see. There is a specific number of clumps of hair Goku has when he goes Super Saiyan. It's like, it usually goes on one side, probably something like this. Some time ago I actually figured out there was a logic in this. So it really is just the hair going up. And because he's got one of the, when he's not Super Saiyan, he's got like one of the hair things that's bigger, or a couple, and those just go up. So this is the one that goes up and becomes like the big Super Saiyan 1 type of classic pointy thing. The hair is probably gonna need some work, but something like this. This is a copy. Let's see what I do without copying now. It's gonna take a while. I am also sketching these though.
I gotta say, I was pretty disappointed the first time I saw Super Saiyan 2. After all the build up, and it's like, oh, now he's just got like a bang hanging down his face.
It's the same. Pretty much the same. Vegeta is exactly the same, obviously. Can't really change much. It's just that the hair gets a little more detailed, but not much more.
I mean, at least with Super Saiyan 3, they grow like a giant mane, and the face even changes to be like a little ape, like caveman looking.
Yeah. I think 4 is still my favorite though. I mean, 1, like first original Super Saiyan, then 4. It's just, I don't know. I was drawing that a lot when I was a kid, so let's try.
If 4, I mean, like if 3 was going with like kind of the more animalistic look, 4 is like a natural evolution of that, so that's pretty cool.
That made sense. But 2, yeah. I mean, Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is different. At least in the Cell arc. Then it is not, but at least they made him different for that. That's probably my favorite moment in general of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, as I mentioned to Simon the other day, that the ending of the Cell arc really could have been the end of Dragon Ball as a whole, and probably should have been.
Yeah. Likely should have been. Let's see if I can remember Super Saiyan 4 now. I know it's got. This is without reference, so let's see what kind of mess I come up with. I know there is a big one, then probably something like this. I should probably just draw one face and then draw the hair on top. But yeah, it sucks that I stopped. You know, I was thinking it would have been better if I just didn't stop drawing these as a kid, but I was extremely demotivated. People demotivated me a lot. So sadly.
Why is that?
Because they're stupid. I don't know. So when I was in, I guess, 5th grade or 4th, I don't know, something like that, I was drawing. Basically, I was going to school just to draw, and I was being bullied because I like Dragon Ball a lot, and so over time I just stopped doing it. Like my parents were not really supportive of me drawing. Especially not drawing Dragon Ball, so I gotta look for reference. So that sucks. I could have been Toyotaro now, but I'm not. Okay, I gotta look up at least the number of hair strands that he's got. Okay, this is a little more in the middle probably, and longer. I know they actually, okay, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I was reading this up earlier today. So there was a meme or like a fake Dragon Ball when I was a kid. It was called Dragon Ball AF, like April's Fool. It was actually an April's Fool. It was not real, or it was supposed to not be real. Then this guy who is now working on the Super manga under Toriyama actually made it like an internet thing, and that's how, as far as I can understand, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can understand, that's how he became famous, and then he was finally hired by Toei to be, or not Toei, Toei's animation.
I remember this because that's where the Super Saiyan 5 Goku came from. There was like an image that had Dragon Ball AF, and so it was like this, like they were reporting it to be like a leaked image from this new Dragon Ball series where there would be a Super Saiyan 5 Goku.
Yeah.
I remember the art being really cool too.
Yes. And so he actually made the manga in 2013 or something, which is insane. So if you now look it up, there's actually a manga of Dragon Ball AF with Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Obviously, it's not canon, it's not original, but it still looks like. I mean, the guy who drew that now is working on the actual Dragon Ball, so it is very similar. I could not distinguish it. I could not tell that that's fake if nobody told me it was. If I didn't know before it was, it's impossible to tell. So that's cool though. It's if that's how he actually became famous, that's really cool. Yeah, that one. That's the one that was going around when I was a kid.
I remember it too.
Yeah, I had some books, which is cool. Like I actually like the idea that it changes and becomes more and more wild, as savage, which makes sense. Versus just being, longer hair or.
Yeah, and I like in the design itself. I like the integration of like the skirt and the armband and the symbols on it, because it felt like very Sun Wukong, like going back to Goku's roots and playing into the Monkey King kind of image. So I'm like, oh, that's a really neat idea. Too bad they never stole that, because that's really good.
Yeah, right. That is unfortunate. As far as I know, there are many AFs made by different people. Oh, Toyotaro made the most famous one, but his chapters don't show the Super Saiyan 5. It was someone else who made the Super Saiyan 5 inspired by Toyotaro's AF chapters. Okay, I see. So, but he didn't make it back then, did he? Because when I was reading this, it was 2001. Yeah, 2002 maybe. So I have an actual not traumatic, like I said, experience about that, because I had this Dragon Ball booklet. I was in the train. I was going to the sea to spend a week in a hotel with my mom, and I had stomachache. So I remember because of that. I had stomachache the whole trip, so it kind of sucks. But I know it was 2002 probably.
According to the Dragon Ball wiki, that image of Goku that I posted was drawn by a guy named David Franco, who actually has a Twitter account, and he's still very active.
Drawing Dragon Ball stuff?
Yeah. His Twitter, for anyone that cares, is Tablos AF, Tablos AF. He has like 40,000 followers.
Oh, this is not very similar. I'm missing something in this. There is a guy who I want to show. There is a guy who I found that I found the other day, who is really good at imitating Toriyama's watercolor style, the original Dragon Ball illustrations. Let's see if he was always there for days and days and days. Now I cannot find him. Why? I hate this thing. Following. There you go. Hopefully in the following section. No, this is Godzilla. By the way, I am making a Godzilla shirt for my son. So, there you go. Found him. It's called DBS Kakeru. So, there you go. This guy. I would not be able to tell it's someone else. This looks legit like original Toriyama to me. 100%. It's incredible that someone can mimic his style so well. Wish that was me. Maybe one day, who knows? If I keep wasting my time doing that, it's not working. But this is incredible. Oh, also, they're making a new Dragon Ball Super or GT or Z that's like Daima. It's called Daima, and Goku and Vegeta are kids.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that sounds like a stupid idea, but whatever makes money, I guess. So I know this is incredible. Like look at these. He can imitate even the original style.
If you were the company, why wouldn't you hire people like this to help with like productivity and whatnot?
Right.
If he can like mimic the style this fluidly and this greatly, like just have him working on things so you can produce more content.
Yeah. But you can make art books or something. I don't know, whatever. I would buy them, honestly, because as a fan, these are great. Like, look at this. This is much better than the 3D version, by the way. So, I don't know. This is just great. Very good. Like, even the poses he does. That's so cool. And much better than it was in the movie, for me. So, whatever. If you want to follow him, it's, again, DBS, D.B.S. Kakeru with K's. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. Who knows?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate the movie used 3D instead of 2D. I got used to it eventually, but seeing like...
It's pretty good, but it's still different.
Yeah, but I mean, like seeing like Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo in the original artwork style would have been really neat.
Yeah.
It probably would have enhanced the image of them.
I think so. But hey, it didn't... I don't know, whatever makes money nowadays, I guess. In the cheapest possible...
I was gonna say, it's more of a money cutting cost.
Yeah, it is. It is. They need to cut the cost. Obviously, if you make a 3D model, you can always reuse that many times. It probably even in games. So that still sucks.
But hey, they got the 3D render Bulma's big butt during that one scene. I remember that. Yes,
that's another thing I don't quite agree with. Like, why? I don't know. Usually the comic aspect of Dragon Ball is something I like, especially in the original Dragon Ball. Like, I'm watching the original with my son and Z alone. And the original is very, very comical. Like when Master Roshi is under the table trying to use the chopsticks to lift Lunch's skirt. And that's, I don't know, that's funny because, you know, she brings over this huge container with rice and everything falls on Master Roshi. That's kind of funny. It's tongue-in-cheek, but that thing with Bulma was just cringe for me. I don't know. Could have been played better, I guess.
Well, I think the difference is like the thing with Bulma is it's just a shot for the audience, right? It's just her showing her butt. At least with Master Roshi, he's like a lecher, so it's him being lecherous and then being like punished for being lecherous, and that's why it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny because you also see him being actually punished for what he's doing. He doesn't really get away with it.
I mean, it's also funny that he's like trying to lift her skirt with chopsticks. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's see if we can draw the eyes decently. If I train this long enough, looks better without pupils for some reason. If you train this long enough, I'm gonna be Tara.
I'm pretty sure, like, if a lot of the, like Zoomers and whatnot watch the original Dragon Ball, they'd be trying to cancel it for some of the jokes. Like, I remember, I don't know if you remember the arc, like the Fortune Teller Baba arc, where they have to do the tournament.
That is, yes.
Yeah, the scene with Yamcha fighting the Invisible Man, and it's
The
like we got to
blood,
get Master Roshi, and they lift Bulma's skirt, and she's not wearing any underwear, and Master
as
Roshi just
always.
spurts blood and makes the Invisible Man visible.
That's
Can't
kind
do
of
that again.
that's kind of funny though. Like they actually use all of the characteristics of each character to their maximum extent, which is it's interesting. Like it's not like, oh, we're just fighting. You know, it's an invisible man sleeping in your bed. uh, no,
Well,
it's
they had a smart solution. I mean, it was silly, but it was like we have to make him visible so Yamcha can beat him. So we'll use Master Roshi's blood from his nose to make him visible. It's like okay, at least it's not people throwing 1,000 beams and destroying each other. And it's like, oh, that's how you use brute force to win. No, at least in that they use their heads to.
oh yeah,
conquer
they use their
the
heads a lot in the original Dragon Ball, and I like that because it was not always all beams. There was a variety in techniques and stuff, like Yamcha's whatever wolf fang.
Wolfang fist.
Yeah. So it was more there was more variety, let's say, compared to Super, which is one of the problems I had with it. Like, well, we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So let's see if I can draw something.
Or we have to get a new power up to beat the enemy, and that's it. And then we move on.
I'm just gonna
to the
keep
next
power
enemy.
creeping, yeah. Over and over and over again. Which at some point just gets old. Like, maybe we don't need any more transformations. One of the, again, GT has a lot of flaws, a lot. Starting from the drawings sometimes. Although it's got its peaks. But one of the good things GT does is, well, we're done. Goku leaves. It's finished. Now it's time to let it go. But it seems like it's not. Like it seems like nobody can let this go. And it should really just let it die. As I said the other day, even if they closed it at the end of Emperor Pilaf's quest, it would have not probably been Dragon Ball, but it was not a bad ending. It's like, this is a story of this monkey kid who's clearly inspired by Sun Wukong, and you can just imagine whatever happens later. You had so many times to finish it, just finish it. I don't like Super because it just keeps beating a dead horse. At this point, there's nothing else to say apart from changing the hair color of whoever is there, or probably if you bring along some good writer, maybe there might be something else to say, but probably not that much anyway.
I think they've kind of pigeonholed themselves into a formula, and so they feel the need to stick with it. Because unfortunately, the audience just doesn't care. I mean, like, if you're listening to us right now and you haven't watched the original Dragon Ball, you absolutely should. Because it's very humorous, but it's also pretty well written too. And I mean, there's like a lot of really smart humor, like and there's cultural references that you might not get if you're Japanese, like the Monster Carrot episode where they send Monster Carrot to the moon and he has to make mochi for like the rest of his life. Like, if you're not familiar with Japanese culture and history, you might not get that, but like there's just that whole episode is basically a joke to say that there's a rabbit on the moon making mochi.
Yeah.
And I think Super like tried to go back to the more humorous side, but I don't think the humor works in Super for the most part.
No, it doesn't. Okay, you gotta draw an actual character here. Not like this though. Go up.
I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. It's like, oh yeah, now we're fighting gods, but there's gods above gods, and so we have to go through the gods to get to the gods above gods. And then we've got the whole multiverse aspect now.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just jump the shark.
It's
It jumped the shark quite a long time ago, but at this point, it's like, you can't take this seriously anymore.
Yeah. That's sad because, again, the raw material was pretty good. Although already dead beaten for a long time. The Buu arc was already stalling. It made sense though. Like they did introduce something interesting, the fusion, so that was not bad. But that's it. Like really, after Boo, there's not much more to say. So good enough. But hey, whatever. I say that being here drawing actual characters again, the same over and over and over again. But whatever. Oop.
No, I get it. I mean, I like Dragon Ball too, but it doesn't mean that there aren't like valid criticisms of it and its storytelling.
I actually think I'm gonna get the. I had some I think one volume of the original manga run, the Frieza fight where he goes Super Saiyan, where Goku goes Super Saiyan. Then I gave it to a friend, and now I'm probably gonna get the original Japanese one since I'm here. It's not very expensive. It's like all 42 volumes, about $30. So
I have one of them in English. I think it's the one with when Piccolo gets his first power up on Namek when he fuses with what's his name, Nail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted for the drawings, really. I've always been a sucker for Toriyama's Dragon Ball style. Not for anything else, really. Like, I don't like Toriyama for JRPGs, for example. Because I don't know, I only see him as a Dragon Ball artist. So I immediately think about Dragon Ball if I see. Maybe I should just put it down.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think my friend Sam was playing the Steam version of Chrono Trigger the other day, and he mentioned all the anime cutscenes and whatnot, and he's not a fan of Toriyama's style, so he wasn't like really into all of that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, Toriyama did do like the original art for Chrono Trigger. But,
yes.
I guess if you're not a fan of that style, then I understand, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Again, I like the style in general for Dragon Ball. Also for other characters, but not in the JRPG context. Mostly because they're all the same. So while it's okay for Dragon Ball, they're all Saiyan, whatever. I don't mind that much. And they're different.
The problem is when you play stuff like Dragon Quest and whatnot, you can't not think of Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
Toriyama just he doesn't break away from his character design, so a lot of the characters just kind of look the same. Like you're playing Dragon Quest and you're like, oh, this character is Trunks, oh, this character is Goku. And it's like, I don't know, everything you play there where he does that, you just see those things and it's like, man, this guy has little variety.
It's funny because I like Chrono Trigger, but nowadays I can't look at Chrono without seeing a Super Saiyan God.
It's the exact same hair.
That is a huge problem he has. Again, very cool style. I like it, but only if the source material, if the material is more or less the same. Otherwise, it becomes too weird. It's like, man, these arms are weird. I should look up a power pose. Never been very good at drawing this pose. I guess time for me to learn that. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, I like I mentioned, I'm playing Dragon Quest Monsters since that release today, and I do like a lot of his monster designs. They're kind of goofy and comical, but that's fine. I don't always go for the more serious monster designs, but the issue for me is it's just character design. I enjoy a variety of different characters and the way they look and so on and so forth. And every time I play a game where he's the art director, the characters just always look the same to me. It doesn't matter if it's Chrono Trigger or Dragon Quest or, what was that other one, Blue Dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
It's they pretty much always look the same regardless of what game. And I don't think that always works because sometimes these different games are going for different moods or atmospheres. And so, if you're playing a very serious Dragon Quest game, which I guess the next Dragon Quest is going to be more serious, it's Is that dark atmosphere going to work with Toriyama's style, which is a little more whimsical? I have questions about that.
Yeah. Probably not. Probably not. In the meantime, I really would like to. I can draw arms, but I can. Man, the power pose. I just can't draw it. God damn. Or a charging pose. I've never been able, seriously never been able to draw a decent version, so I think I'm going to take it as a challenge, like, I have to do it now or these days. Just god damn it. For other things or other characters, I can do that, but when I start thinking about Dragon Ball, I just can't. This is just like, whoosh. Nope. No bueno.
Well, you got the arms right. You got to make him like crouching though, with his legs bent, or his knees.
No. This would be like, in the sky. That's something I've always wanted to do and never actually could. I'm not even looking at. I should probably look at reference for this. I do have the images in my head, but I can't really execute them. Also, I don't need Super Saiyan 4 anymore. Let's see. It's just a mileage thing anyway, because there is a specific see, like if you take this, this is, what is it, Super? No, this is someone else doing it. But one thing I find impressive about Toriyama's style is how he manages to do chibi machines. He's very good at machines.
Yeah, his machines are great.
He's actually underappreciated for machines. His best work is mechanical stuff.
And vehicles.
Yes, vehicles. No kidding. Absolutely.
If you go back and look at some of like the artwork he did for like for motorcycles and planes and whatnot, they're really impressive.
Yeah. I think there are some articles online as well, like talking about Toriyama's underappreciated vehicle design, because he's really good at that. That's probably why a lot of his, at least up to a point, his Dragon Ball stuff was feeling very thick. Like his characters felt very thick, which is something I did enjoy a lot. And that's something that's missing from the current Dragon Ball. He's very good with perspective, like very, very, very good. This arm sucks. Yeah, where did I draw this? God damn it. No, it's lifting this arm a little more. No, he's like, yay. He's not really charging like this. God damn it. Oof. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. I was not expecting this to be perfect because it's been a long time. It almost looks like, because it looks like it's got gloves, it almost looks like Vegito. Super Vegito. At this point, with the white boots and the petars. I might leave it at that. Probably just need to figure out other poses. I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna do one of these days. I'm gonna do an analysis like of the actual poses. I'm gonna take the characters and I'm gonna draw mannequins on them, like tracing on. Oh, that's gonna be useful. Vegeta's 50% Goku's here doing it. Yeah. It's funny that in the original dub, in the English dub, Vegito has a double voice, right?
Yeah.
In
it's
the
like
Italian, in the Italian one, he doesn't. Probably to save money, not to have to pay both voice actors. So it's just Goku's voice. So both Vegito and Gogeta have Goku's voice, yeah. Probably was cheaper to do, I don't know. I have no idea why. But
I always thought it was weird that there was two of them.
Yeah.
Well, from what I remember, Vegito was the one in the anime, and then Gogeta was the one that was in the movies, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Vegito, Vegito was the one that for a while was the one that, quote, canon, unquote. And then Gogeta wasn't canon because he was like basically like in the Janemba movies and whatnot. And then the Broly movie kind of reintroduced Gogeta again, the new Broly movie. So I think Gogeta is now considered canon alongside Vegito. My understanding is like the difference was the way that they fused was the difference between the two. Like if they did the fusion. Yeah, if they did the fusion dance, it was Gogeta, and then if they used the Potara, the earrings, it was Vegito.
Yeah, which is weird anyway because the earrings were supposed to be it was not supposed to be undoable. So that's one thing that sucked a lot. Yeah, that's one thing that sucked a lot because that was a stake, right? We can fuse and then we cannot defuse anymore. So then obviously because nothing is permanent in Dragon Ball, even death, that's like, hey, no, you know what, we can't do this, so whatever.
Well, they already did that though with like the Namekians, right? Like Piccolo fused with Nail, and then he fused with the Elder and whatnot, and it's like that was a permanent fusion. They're technically a part of him now, but they can't do that with Goku and Vegeta because they're both popular characters. So
so that's probably why they went for Vegeta later, I assume. But anyway.
I guess it would be kind of weird if they're like permanently fused. Like, so am I married? So am I one person married to both Chi-Chi and Bulma at the same time? That's odd.
Yeah. Well, time for a threesome.
I get two wives.
I
get a harem in typical Japanese fashion.
Yeah. Man, some of these panels though, honestly, I've also seen critiques of the Super manga. I don't have it. I gifted it to my nephew, but I don't have it, and I've not read it. If not, what I saw it, when I went to his place to give him the manga. Toriyama's paneling is much better. Like the way it flows is so good, especially during fights. Because I have some here. There is a way to read the comic book or the manga online, by the way. It's free, completely free. I don't remember I think it's Manga Reader. Just mangareader.com or something like that. It's very good. It's very good. And probably drawing-wise, the Frieza saga is the peak. I remember copying the hell out of Frieza's 100% transformation when I was a kid because I wanted to learn the muscles of the legs. Right. Little did I know that's not really good anatomy. But hey, it's really abstracted anatomy. But
I mean, it's cool design.
It's very cool design, and it's very good for learning how to draw hands, especially if you draw various beams. Like you take this one for example. Can I copy this? No, it's not copying. Why? Copy. Oh, there you go. Like this is so good practice for hands. That's one of the reasons I respect Toriyama so badly is because the hands are so good in Dragon Ball usually. It's very simple. Like the way he draws he wraps the fingernail around it. So good. Just so good. So if you want to learn how to draw hands, look at Toriyama because he's really good at doing that. Obviously, they're manly hands. I don't know about female hands. Because he doesn't really do them. Usually. If Goku and Vegeta became permanently fused, I think some double divorce would happen. Or they would be married to just Bulma and have Piccolo effectively take Goku's place. That is what should happen.
Man, one divorce is bad enough. Imagine getting divorced twice at the same time.
Yes.
You just lose everything.
It can happen, I guess. We should ask Saman if... no, I don't think divorce is a thing, right? Where he lives. Because they have multiple wives, so... What if they all decide to... to get divorced at the same time? All together. Man, I gotta start making... So, Chase, you can prepare to see your next humanoid characters look like Dragon Ball characters. I guess. No. Anyway, yeah, it's already time to leave, unfortunately. Always very short.
I'd be fine with that, as long as they don't all look the same.
That's difficult. Because Dragon Ball characters all look the same. You can literally just replace the hair. Like, you take this... If I take this and I change... Maybe the expression is a little different. Just a tiny bit different. But I can literally do this.
I mean, we're ragging on the character design, but it is iconic. Like, people that have never watched Dragon Ball can look at a Dragon Ball character and know they're from Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Like, you can literally do this and just change the hair. And it is going to be Vegeta. Again, probably Vegeta probably has a slightly different expression. Like squeezing the eyes a little more. But not that different, really. Like Vegeta is literally... Like, even the hair, like Vegeta's hair is pretty much Super Saiyan Goku. Not like that different. Then you add the... He should probably be a little smaller in this because he's a bit of a smaller build, but in general, like it's basically Vegeta. It's basically that, and you can even add the, it's Vegeta. Oh, yo, then make the hair black or blonde or red, blue, and now you have 4 different toys I have to collect. That's right. So this is basically Vegeta, and this is Goku, the same. So again, yeah, Vegeta probably has a different expression, just a little bit. But
well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I don't know if anyone else remembers when Vegeta was first introduced in the anime, he did have red hair, not black.
Yes, hair. Red hair and a greenish brown armor. So
I don't think they because he just showed up in the manga, but they didn't know what his hair color was at that point, so they just went with whatever. Yeah.
So they thought it was not a good idea. So anyway, welcome, Mr. Buddy. By the way, everyone, his neck was pencil thin. Yeah, I mean, it was even in the first time he came to Earth. The designs of the Saiyan saga were different. They were more expressive, though, in a way. Yeah. That's why I said in the Frieza saga, at the end of Frieza saga, they are striking like a perfect balance for me in terms of design. That's not overly puffy. Like if you take this from Buu saga, the Buu arc, I like this a lot, but it might be a little too buff. It's still cool, but I prefer the Frieza one.
It's giving me that Captain America vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. So anyway, everybody, if you don't know, Mr. Buddy here has been jumping in Super Mario RPG for 7 hours. Is it doing this? So is it working? Oh, you beat it?
Yeah.
Well, he cannot beat it because I don't think it's doing the so. Oh man, it's not working. Why? Let me do it on Twitch. So Mr. Buddy here is the most tenacious person I know presently, he's been literally jumping on the monster's head to unlock Mario's final armor. Oh, it's not working anyway. So it's not
Super
working.
suit. Yeah.
Yes, for 7 hours straight for 3 streams, I think 3 days. So 21 hours. Only doing that for 7 hours straight. That is incredible. I have no idea how he can do that. I would not be able to. I would probably throw a controller at the TV or something.
So somebody needs to get a life.
I can't do that. That's incredible. That's incredible. So if you want to support him, please go ahead and do, because he turned this into still 73. He turned this into a job basically. I do not have that kind of willpower. So if you want to go and support him, please do. It's also a very fun stream all the time. Whether he can do it or not doesn't matter. Yes, we're gonna close it here. I'm probably not gonna stream tomorrow. So we'll see. Might be back on Tuesday. Either I do a monster or more Dragon Ball. I don't know, because I feel like drawing Dragon Ball recently. So whatever, it's just fun. I just want to have a good time. So we'll see. But thanks everybody for being here with us. And go check out Mr. Buddy there if you have time and you want to have some fun as well. And I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next time.